Hi, I'm Heather Staines, Senior Consultant for Delta Think and Director of Community Engagement for the Open Access Data Analytics tool. I think it's safe to say our industry is always changing. That's one of the things I love about it. But it does mean that keeping up with trends can be a challenge. As the new kid on the block here, I wanted to take this opportunity to check in with my team to find out what they're noticing in the scholarly communication space.
The vast majority of our work, whether it is around technology, content, market, is by design strategy focused. But this past year in particular, clients have been coming to us at a greater pace, looking to develop brand new overarching strategic directions or re-architect, reinvent, revitalize large-scale areas of their business.
When I think of trends over the last year, I can't help but to consider education and the dramatic disruption in delivery, focus, expectations, and overall learning. Here at Delta Think, we had begun to address noticeable changes in education pre-COVID, from the creation of materials and technologies all the way through delivery.
I'm thrilled to be able to work more closely with data, especially information and analysis that publishers and libraries can use to inform their future strategies. I'm seeing more organizations seeking ways to direct their investment towards open infrastructure and open tools, at least in part to ensure that community-governed options achieve sustainability.
It's easy to talk about strategic issues in abstract, but there's nothing like a crisis to force things into sharp, practical focus. We're seeing that I think organisations are becoming more comfortable using data-driven and evidence-based decision-making processes. Over the last few years, we've seen new initiatives such as Plan S, the rise of technology-based tools to measure what we do, such as on Paywall and Outmetrics. And we've also seen how the library community is deploying data science, if you think of examples such as ESAC.
The definite trend, the intentional trend toward content strategy that has the customer at the center, the intentional breaking down of perhaps former silos to put the customer at the center of that content strategy and what that really means and looks like.
The major vendors, Adapon, Highwire, and Silverchair, have built a significant barrier of entry such that all but the largest publishers could not possibly create the same baseline of reader and publisher-facing features. So with the build versus buy decision, it's always going to favor buy. What differentiates the major platforms isn't so much the checklist of base features for researchers, it's more driven by how well they serve the publishers. Features like usage analytics, SEO, integration with downstream depositories have become much more important.
There are so many trends in the industry that we could talk about, but when I think about the last year in particular, I think about openness, I think about reflection, and I think about acceleration. I think about acceleration because the realities of the past year have made certain micro and macro trends move even faster, and that in turn has partially set the stage for this reflection and openness that I'm talking about. And what excites me the most is that our clients are serious. They're seriously and tangibly considering what has worked for their communities and their businesses in the past and how that is changing.
Another trend I'm watching closely is the evolution of virtual conferences and plans for hybrid meetings, maybe even as soon as the fall. Many meetings are seeing increased participation, and early careers are definitely joining in greater numbers. Some events have switched up their presentation times to appeal to more time zones from both a presenter and an attendee standpoint.
As organizations both expand educational offerings and diversify portfolios, we encourage you to ask questions such as, how can you build engagement with all of your content and educational offerings? How are you leveraging opportunities to deliver increased value for your educator and your student user base? Do you fully understand your learners' journeys? How are you using technology to enhance and innovate current and new solutions?
We're finding that organisations want to see both trends in overall activity and the details directly affecting them. And the exciting thing about Delta Think's work is that we've got opportunities to do both of these and to drill down into this sort of detail. This means we can move beyond the typical static high-level reports and really dig into answering questions that enable organisations to say, so what does this actually mean for my organisation and practice? And although some sellers may see that this is an uncomfortable, perhaps even threatening situation, I think in the mid to long term, it will lead to a healthier marketplace with more opportunity for all.
If we know anything, we know that change is constant. We recognize that education is an exciting trend to be a part of right now, and we hope we can help you manage the change.
So how can they take this opportunity right now and rather than just reacting, really use it to reinvent and streamline and come out of this year of change having built something strategically better?